Energy powers everything you do during the day, like taking tasks and doing homework. As your body uses up its energy, you need to replace it by eating. Your body takes up and uses the energy that is stored in your food. All of the energy in your food comes from autotrophs. They are organisms that produce their own food by collecting and converting energy from sunlight. Plants are autotrophs. So how do autotrophs produce their own food? Autotrophs use the energy from sunlight to make complex sugar molecules that their cells can store and/or use for energy. The process of converting sunlight energy into energy-rich molecules of glucose is called photosynthesis. Our flower will use sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water to create glucose. In the process, the plant will give off leftover oxygen that was not used in the reaction. Energy from the sun enters the atmosphere in the form of particles called photons. The green parts of the plant absorb the photons. The plant is made up of thousands of tiny cells. In each cell, there's an organelle called chloroplast. Inside the chloroplast, there are stacked structures called thylakoids. Each thylakoid is surrounded by the thylakoid membrane. On the thylakoid membrane, there's a molecule called chlorophyll. Chlorophyll absorbs the photons from the sun. When the chlorophyll absorbs the photon of light, the electron inside the chlorophyll becomes excited. The excited electron has gained energy and is transferred to surrounding molecules. The surrounding molecules pass the energy on. This chain of energy-accepting molecules is called the electron transport chain. As the energy is passed down the electron transport chain, the molecule ATP is produced. ATP is an energy molecule used by cells to perform cellular work. ATP stands for adenosine triphosphate. ATP is made up of a nucleotide, adenine, the sugar ribose, and 3 molecules called phosphate groups. The electron is passed down the transport chain. A molecule called ADP is chemically bonded to a single phosphate group, forming ATP. The molecule NADP+ accepts the electron. When it accepts the electron, it becomes attracted to a nearby hydrogen atom. The molecule and atom become chemically bonded and form NADPH. The water enters the cell and the chemical components are separated. An electron from the water is used to replace the electron that was passed down the electron transport chain. Leftover oxygen that has been split from the hydrogen leaves the cell. The next step of photosynthesis still occurs inside the chloroplast, but it takes place outside the thylakoids in a fluid substance called stroma. Carbon dioxide enters the cell. In a series of complex reactions, ATP and NADPH are used to modify carbon dioxide. At the end of the reactions, glucose is formed. At the end of the reactions, ATP turns into ADP and NADPH returns to NADP. The plant can either use the glucose for immediate energy, be stored for later use, or be used as a building block within the cell to form other important molecules. So the energy stored within the bonds of glucose molecule can either be used by the plant or the animal that feeds on it. Photosynthesis equals sunlight plus carbon dioxide plus water yields glucose and oxygen.